freaking supplements do we actually need?
A growth hormone and
What
IGF-1.
peptides?
Yeah, there's BBC 157, ipamorelin.
You've Googled BBC.
I'm fucking these names up, and then another one's called thymosin.
Because let's be honest, with endless options on the market, it can be difficult to understand what supplements actually work and which ones you're just gonna spend money on to piss out later with no benefits made. Well, in today's video, I'm gonna cut through the noise and share with you 3 supplements that I really think everyone should consider taking. Because these are the 3 that I personally swear by and have definitely made a difference in my life. And I think it is pretty universally agreed that these 3 do work and can help to boost health, energy, and performance. So whether you're wanting to hit the gym hard or just simply feel your best, these are 3 supplements that I would highly recommend. All right, so I'm gonna go in reverse order, and my 3rd best supplement that I would recommend people try is whey protein. Now, I'm sure you will have all heard of whey protein, but it really can't be underestimated how important protein is, particularly when it comes to muscle growth and repair. And I personally would always recommend that people try to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And you definitely can do that just from trying to eat natural foods alone. The problem with that is that it can be relatively expensive to try to get your daily protein from foods alone, and it's not always the most convenient way. And so that is where a good whey protein supplement does come in and can be very handy. And whey protein is a very quick, easily digestible way to get that daily protein intake that you are trying to hit. And it is a high quality protein. Despite what any person says, whey protein is a high quality protein. It's also relatively cheap. I discovered that I can get this amount of whey protein, which has 54 servings in, for £30 from Costco, as opposed to I think like 65 or 70 pounds that I was paying on Amazon. And it's also tasty. I enjoy my whey protein supplement, and it's also versatile. You can put protein into other things. You can make protein pancakes and things like that. And so whey protein really is fantastic. Whey protein is also a very safe supplement to take. It has been around for years. There's been tons of studies done on it. I think about the worst issue that some people do seem to get is a bit of digestive issues. And I think that seems to be more in people that have a bit of a lactose intolerance. And for those people, it does seem like a whey isolate is the best option to go with, as opposed to the 2 other forms of whey protein that you can get, which is whey concentrate and whey hydrolysate. And then in terms of timing of when to take your whey protein, there is data that does support trying to take your whey protein shortly after exercise to really get the most benefits in terms of muscle growth and repair. But ultimately, I think that the most important thing is really just to hit that daily protein amount that you are trying to hit. And so personally, I would just take whey protein whenever is most convenient for you. And the real important thing is just to make sure that you are getting enough protein in your system. Okay, moving on. And my 2nd best supplement that I would recommend people try is magnesium, which can come in many different forms, but I take this magnesium glycinate from Heights brand, which I have found to be very good. And firstly, in terms of what magnesium is just a mineral that is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in the body. Yet many people, I think, are deficient in magnesium, which is where supplementation of it can really come in and be particularly beneficial. And why is magnesium so beneficial? Well, I think there really are a number of benefits from magnesium, but some of the most important ones, in my opinion, are that it can help with muscle function, as it can help to relax your muscles and promote better recovery. It also improves sleep quality, as magnesium plays a role in the production of melatonin, which is very important for a good night's sleep. It can also reduce stress levels, as magnesium is known for its calming properties, and I think can even help with anxiety and just generally to improve your mood. And magnesium is known to be good for heart function too. And in terms of its safety, magnesium again is known to be very safe. Again, I think similar to whey protein, about the worst issue that people seem to have is some digestive issues. And so I would just recommend sticking to whatever the recommended amount of the magnesium that you're taking is. The only other thing, I think magnesium can sometimes interact with other medications that you may be on. And so if you are on any medication, make sure that you do check in with your healthcare provider. And then in terms of the timing, again, of when best to take magnesium, I think similar again to whey protein, the most important thing is just to take it daily and make sure you are getting enough magnesium into your system. Personally, for me, I do like taking magnesium close to bedtime. I try to take it about 30 minutes before bed, as I said, it does have calming and relaxing properties. And so I do find that by taking it close to bedtime, it does encourage a better night's sleep from me, and it does just relax me and put me into a nice sleepy state before I go to bed. But I don't think it really does matter. I think some people do also like taking it straight after a workout because, as I said, it's good for muscle function and recovery and can relax your muscles. But ultimately, try to just figure out when is best for you. And the most important thing is just to take it daily. One last thing to mention with magnesium is that magnesium can come in various different forms. And I think the different forms can do slightly different things. And some forms of magnesium seem that they are not so good and not so beneficial for you. So I think just be a little bit mindful of what form of magnesium you are going to take. As I said, for me, I take magnesium glycinate, which is recognized as a good form of magnesium. And I think it's particularly one that is a little bit gentler on the stomach and is particularly known for its relaxation and de-stressing effects and properties. So yeah, just something to think about. As I said, just be a little bit mindful what form of magnesium you are going to take. Okay, and my number one supplement that I would really recommend people try is creatine, particularly creatine monohydrate. And honestly, I don't even think this is just my opinion, because I've heard so many people much smarter than me, people who are top in their field in terms of health and fitness and exercise, say that creatine is so beneficial and really is a supplement that seemingly almost everyone should take.
My Mount Rushmore of supplements would be creatine monohydrate.
Creatine monohydrate.
So I personally take creatine.
All right, so what is creatine? Well, creatine is a substance that is found naturally in your muscle cells and can help your body to produce a molecule known as adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Now, ATP is known as your body's energy currency. And so what creatine is essentially doing is helping your muscles to produce more energy. And by helping your muscles to produce more energy, creatine can then help with strength and performance. It can aid in building lean muscle mass through increasing your power output and workload capacity. And it can also help to reduce fatigue. As well as that, there is also continually evolving data that says that creatine can have some real cognitive benefits too. And another great thing about creatine is that it is cheap. It is actually super cheap. I get this amount, which is 93 servings for about £18 on Amazon. So it really is very, very cheap creatine, which is always a nice thing. And creatine is also very, very safe. For whatever reason, I think creatine falls into this perception that it's like this harder supplement to take and there is some risk factors around it. But creatine is actually one of the most studied supplements there has ever been, and it really is very safe. About the only knock on creatine that you may sometimes hear came from a study in 2009 which linked creatine with an increase in a hormone called DHT, which can contribute to hair loss. However, from what I can see, I don't think data does suggest that link between creatine and DHT. And since that study was in 2009, I'm sure we would have seen more data now that does back up that link if it really was there. So personally for me, I don't think hair loss is anything to worry about from creatine. And as I said, it really is a very safe supplement that you can confidently take. And in terms of how to take creatine, it's firstly worth noting again that there are different forms of creatine, but creatine monohydrate is not only the cheapest, but it also I think is universally agreed to be the best, and that is the form that I take. And then in terms of dosage, 5 grams a day seems to be the pretty universally recognized amount to take. I think if you are a little bit smaller, maybe you could take slightly less than that, although I don't think you need to. If you're a bit bigger, maybe you could take a little bit more. I'm around 6'1", 190 pounds, and I go for 2 scoops of this. 1 scoop being 3.2 grams, so 2, I take about 6.4 grams a day, just to make sure that I am getting enough creatine in me. But generally, I think after taking 5 grams a day for a few weeks, your muscles will be adequately saturated. And so I think that is a perfectly recognized amount to take. And in terms of timing, there is some data that suggests that taking creatine immediately after a workout is most beneficial. However, personally for me, I think, like I've said with the other couple of supplements, the most important thing is just to make sure that you are taking the creatine regularly. Make sure you are hitting that 5 grams or whatever amount daily and getting a sufficient amount within you. And so personally, I would just take it whenever is most convenient for you. For me, I basically just take it kind of whenever I remember throughout the day, and it kind of depends on what I'm doing that day. All right. There you go, my top 3 supplements, which were magnesium, creatine, and whey protein. Not in that order, of course, but honestly, I really would recommend trying these supplements. I have found them to be very beneficial, and they really have made a difference into my life. So why not at least look into them and then consider whether they are something that you might want to take. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please make sure to give it a like. If you enjoyed this one, maybe check out my previous upload here, and it would be great if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.